I can't think of a genre of anime that needs more work than this genre. Almost every anime that has this genre tagged with it is straight up garbage. No plot, no continuity, no thought went into writing 99% of these types of anime. Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Arrow Sensei here. Like always, I want to wish everyone a good morning or good afternoon whenever you're watching this right now. I told you I was going to bring part 2 of our anime category and terms video, and it's finally here. So thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Anyway, just like in part 1 of this series, I want to start with the disclaimer that although the category and genres of anime was originally intended with a certain audience in mind, it is not the defining factor on if you should watch it or not. Think of it as more as an informational guideline if you were aiming to find shows or movies geared towards what you wanted to watch. Now, with my butt covered, let's get on with the video. Now, in the previous video, we covered the categories of anime. And if we go back, we talked about like your shonen and shoujo types of anime and many others. Now with this video, we'll be covering the actual genres you will find inside those categories. This will probably be the biggest factor in what anime you choose if you come to acquire a certain sense of what you like to watch and would like to find other titles with those similar qualities. And with using certain genre tags, you'll be able to really dial in on that enormous anime library on whatever platform you decide to get your fix on. Now, with the genres we're about to discuss, think of them as your more broad types of genres, sort of like setting in a general sense of the type of situational tone for the show. To go back to that car analogy from part 1, think of it as picking a feature inside a car, but in its most general sense. So take AC for example in your car. AC is just a general term. But AC can either be manual, automatic, or 2-zone or 3-zone. Those would be classified as the subgenres in anime. So, to bring it in anime terms, the AC would be the genre. So let's take Ichi for example. Yeah, it can take you to anime with tons of Ichi scenes, but you might have titles with a lot of Ichi scenes of either anamorphic animals, quote unquote, keeping warm at night, or a title with a bunch of vampires sucking blood. But because it's just a general term, it can include a lot of subgenres as a result. But don't worry about the subgenres for right now. We'll talk about them more in depth in part 3. Now, when searching for your next gorge, you will likely have more than just one genre overlapping each other in a title. So even if you chose an isekai genre, you will likely find that it includes a harem along with it and maybe some magical elements too. Simply because those are just other popular genres that are usually tagged along with it in most isekai titles. Now, on to what you actually came here for. Let's talk about the many genres you can find in anime. Alright, first in line to the slaughter, we have Ichi. Now, what can I say about this other than it can provide some good subplot elements when the story is kind of lacking. As we all know, the Ichi genre has the presence of sexual content to include, but not limited to, anything as small as some panty flash all the way up to some very revealing clothing. We shall dub these as fan service. Ichi can also manifest in other ways such as sexual relations, sexual innuendo, hand and body movements in place of an actual naked body. Also, the use of nudity can be used whether it's implied by environmental objects such as plants in a well-placed scenery, light rays, or fog or steam if it's being taken place in a bath. But can also just flat out show bare breast, or the butt can be shown, but it'll actually have the actual genital area covered or just not drawn, period. Now I could literally go on all night naming titles with this as a good subplot element within it, but to name a few of my personal favorites would include To Love Ru, Kill la Kill, Rosario plus Vampire, Monster Musume, Chivalry of a Failed Knight, Scum's Wish, High School DxD, and Interspecies Reviewers. Now, second in line, we have the infamous isekai genre. A very popular setting within anime right now. These are always set in a world not based in our current reality. Whether that is from a main character being transported into another world or realm by means of either summoning, Kami-sama's doing, dying and being reborn, or just some unknown force at play. This is a fan favorite by audiences because of the fantasy of traveling to a new world in which the protagonist is usually endowed with powers greater than anybody in the current world, or them having access to lost or forgotten arts and spells, and just the general idea that the world is based in a way very similar to RPG games. Some of the best and most popular titles to come out in the last decade stem from this genre, with some good ones to include The Rising of the Shield Hero, No Game No Life, Inuyasha, Log Horizon, SAO, or Sword Art Online, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Overlord, and ReZero. Okay, next in line on the list is probably a lot of male watchers' bigger fantasies, and that's the Yuri genre. This genre will usually have a female protagonist or a female co-star that has or is trying to have a relationship with another female. It usually has a strong focus on some kind of female on female bonding or interaction, though not necessarily needing a relationship between the two women to actually be present, because it can also include just the general pursuit of a woman chasing another woman, either in a serious or comical fashion. Also, if it's a story-based anime, it can explore the mindset of a woman who may be becoming aware of her attraction to other women. If this is what you're looking for to be in your next binge, or just curious this type of popular genre, be sure to watch Netsuzo's Trap, Bloom Into You, Strawberry Panic, Yuri, Sakura's Trick, and Maria Watches Over Us. The yaoi genre is basically the complete opposite of the Yuri description we just covered, usually portraying a relationship, both intimate or platonic, between a male main character coming to grips with a new revelation of his attraction to other men or boys, or an actual relationship between the two men or two boys, depending on their ages. Just like with the Yuri description, there necessarily doesn't need to be an actual relationship to happen or be present, but can also explore in story what goes on in a male's head when discovering this new realization. If this is your cup of tea and interested on what goes on in this world, be sure to check out titles such as Yuri on Ice, Given, Number 6, Dramatical Murder, and Super Lovers. Harem. Probably the most used genre when it comes to being overplayed and highly unlikely to happen to anybody, no matter how awesome they may be in their world. This typically features your male protagonist surrounded by or in a relationship with multiple women or girls who are either in love with him or infatuated with the male protagonist. Filled usually with the world's most reasonable and pro-polygamy women who have absolutely no issue sharing the man they love with other women, no matter how unreal. And if any issues or hesitations that may come up, it's nothing more than 1 or 2 episodes of female bonding can't fix. Though there are literally thousands of titles that include this genre to some extent, some that at least have a decent story include High School DxD, Heaven's Lost Property, To Love Ru, In Another World with My Smartphone, Demon King Daimyo, Trinity 7, Data Live, The World God Only Knows, and School Days. Riding the coattails of the harem genre, but not as successful, is the reverse harem genre. Even though the exact same as your typical harem, but it replaces a male main character with a female one, who is surrounded by men or boys from the same town of pro-polygamy and unrational understanding that the women of the basic harem hail from, who are in love with or trying to get with the same girl. If you're tired of seeing the man get all the girls, then watch these where the women can finally have her pick of the litter anytime she wants. These include Yana of the Dawn, Kiss Him Not Me, Code Realize, and Dance with the Devils. A genre that personally is quickly growing a permanent spot in my heart is the slice of life genre. This great tag to add to your anime is usually set in a world most recognizable as our current reality. No powers, no fantasies, no demons or monsters. Just your everyday life and everyday problems or situations. Elements portrayed in it are usually ones we as the audience have encountered or will encounter in our life on Earth. In the absence to the typical way of keeping an audience's attention, such as adding fantasy, magic, or some awesome city-destroying fight scene, the slice of life genre is solely a story-based anime, and with the main focus of telling a compelling story filled with tons of plot twists, drama, suspense, thriller, and just a whole slew of avenues it can take, it will usually have a much better story than most anime you encountered if the story itself wasn't its main focus. Now, if you're ready to challenge the typical stereotype that an anime needs to have action, magic, or some sort of fantasy element to it to be any good, then I implore you to watch Violet Evergarden, my teen romantic comedy, Clan Ad, I Wanna Eat Your Pancreas, Silent Voice, and Your Lie in April. And if you don't at least get teary-eyed watching one of these anime, then your heart is frozen by some unnatural force and you need some help. Hentai. I can't think of a genre of anime that needs more work than this genre. Almost every anime that has this genre tagged with it is straight up garbage. No plot, no continuity, no thought went into writing 99% of these types of anime. Think of this as just your typical adult pornographic film with the same bad elements of one. Horrible acting, overacting, and unrealistic situations, and just the total lack of trying to make it any kind of a good anime. Although there may be some few exceptions out there, I've yet to run across any. But if you're looking to check out this weird world of plot-driven anime, then check out Bible Black, Dropout, Kanojo X Kanojo X Kanojo, and even though not technically a hentai, I have to put Akisora and Yosugunda Sora in here just because they really push the limits. Last on our list today will be the Fable Mecha genre. This anime type is depicted as a fantasy anime in which it usually illustrates a main character or multiple characters piloting a robotic suit for multiple purposes, whether that be for war, fighting, building, space travel, or survival. Humans have moved beyond using their bodies as punching bags for any of these tasks and have decided to build robots in which they can take control over to accomplish these tasks. Though not always having a fully functional robotic suit to pilot, but instead can have a normal human with cybernetic enhancements placed inside them to give them an edge over others. Or in other cases, an alien-based bioform as small as a human or multiple times the size of our galaxy. If you get your kicks off watching machines creating an environmental hazard, leaking oil all over the place, then titles that would definitely catch your eye will be Code Geass, Gurren Lagann, the Gundam series, and the Gundam movies, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and 86. Now with that out the way, we have come to the end of part 2 of this series. If you watched to the end, I want to say thank you so very much. I hope to continue to inform new and existing watchers of anime. All I know so that we can have a better understanding of the world of anime we all enjoy. If you enjoyed the content so far and want to see more, just click that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell for future videos. I will be bringing part 3 next, which will close out this series for now. Again, thank you so much. This is Arrow Sensei wanting to wish you a great rest of your day or night. Later.